quite. Eli Hinton back to the bottom, 6 to go.
Makes a mistake again. He missed a shift. He's going to spin to the inside turn. He's going to take the lead.
Eli Hinton just got used up there in the hairpin. He's going to pick up a win after a long winless streak and visit victory lane. And the whole field just needs to get himself slow down, hop these curves, up and over. There's that cannon running a tad wide. Great restart here for the 2 car, but also for the 48. He crosses him over, down into turn 1, there goes the tail. Here comes the 20 alongside. The 13 car gets a turn. He's going to spin in turn 2.
A little under a year ago, the 3WideRacing League ran their first race on SYM TV at Mount Panorama Circuit in Australia for the 2018 3WideRacing Truck Series. And now we're back this time in 2019 for a full season of action, starting here at the Daytona International Speedway and the newly named YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour. This season, we got a lot of races on the schedule. The schedule goes from Daytona to the Rallycross course at Sonoma to Montreal, Canada, and all places in between. Welcome to 2019 and welcome to the 3WideRacing League and the YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour. Finian, no better place to start at Daytona, even though it's a bit cloudy out there today. After what we saw last week in the Cup Series prelude to the 250, I'm expecting a lot of incredible racing here tonight.
Yeah, usually in the past, I would argue that the trucks put on the best racing with this package, but the Cup Series with the newer package they have been competing with them. So we should be expecting between both tonight and the Cup Series race tomorrow night, should be expecting some great racing for both series.
Qualifying underway right now, and Josh Adams in the 95 is currently sitting on pole. Chad Frankenfield sitting in second. Kevin Finn third. Jamie Dobbs fourth. But you see how quickly things are moving as the field comes across the line. There's Paul Ross in the number 18 car. He's coming in. He's satisfied with his qualifying run, and he's sitting 7th, make it 9th as drivers continue to come on through to put their second laps in. Corey Lindsay won the prelude of the 250 last week. He'll be starting pretty deep in the field here, it looks, tonight, but Finian, not everyone's locked in the field here this evening. We will, there is a possibility that some drivers won't make this field, and if you see 2 asterisks next to a driver's name, that means that they are not chartered into the series and they are not locked in to this race tonight. If you have 1 asterisk, that means that they are a rookie in the series, and I don't think we have a whole lot of those here. But Finian, last year we saw some incredible racing from the short tracks to the road courses to the dirt stuff, but this season we get to follow it from start to finish. And in terms of the seasons and who are we looking at as who could be our champion at the end of the year, I'm taking a good look at the 83 of Johnny Thomas. I'm looking at Paul Ross. I'm looking at all the guys, Matt Grunberg especially in that 54. He's our in-race reporter tonight. He's going to be really good. Only ran a partial season last year, but he is going to be on top a lot this year. Yeah,
speaking of Johnny Thomas, too, our defending series champion for the Truck Series here, so he's coming back trying to do it again this year. And again, did a great job last season too. We saw him as the underdog in the final race at Homestead, but he was able to make it out on top. But yeah, he's got to compete. To defend his title, he's got to compete with guys like Matt Grunberg and Levi Zielinski and all those guys, because it's gonna. I think this field, especially compared to last year, is gonna be a lot more competitive.
Yeah, competitive for sure. There was a lot of interesting interactions last season between drivers as well. I know there were some disagreements on some of the short tracks, but that's what makes this racing great. And I mentioned we're going to the Rallycross course at Sonoma in a little while. I think we have Watkins Glen the 3rd week as well. So a lot of road racing, a lot of dirt, a lot of short tracks, but we're going to start on the big stuff tonight at the Super Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. Liam Sheen in the 51 has made the field in both tonight's race and tomorrow's Daytona 250 for the 3WideRace Kings Cup Series. So as the field takes to the grid here, Finian, we got your eye on tonight. I'm taking a good look at that 95 of Josh Adams. He is sitting pretty on pole for this event. Johnny Thomas in the outside of the front row in that 83 car.
Yeah, he's looking really strong. But yeah, Adams too, we saw in the developmental series, he was a really strong contender and competing in both the Truck and Cup Series this season. Really looking at his pace again, along with guys like Grunberg and Frankenfield, who I haven't seen yet run a full season. So then the new guys coming in, or the fast guys coming in, and how they we've got to really watch on how they compare to most of the guys that have been running here for a while.
If you're new to SYM TV, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time we go live. We have 6 streams this week. The only time we're not streaming is Wednesday night. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. We have the Race Kings Cup Series 250 tomorrow from Daytona at the same time, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday is the Fuel Host Venom Cup Series at, where are they this week? They're at Motegi again. Yep. Wednesday, Rough. Thursday, it's Scars Ferrari Challenge returning. And then Friday, the Virtual Racing League. Saturday, Outsiders. And then back again on next Sunday, it's going to be week 2 of the YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour. So welcome on board for a full season of racing. This season goes all the way to November, Finian, and it culminates at Homestead Miami Speedway. So we're going to start in Florida, we're going to end in Florida, but everything in between is about as crazy as you can make a truck series in the iRacing Motorsport Simulation Service. Yeah, they're running on all 4 disciplines, which is, 3 of which sound fine, but you have the 4th one in Rallycross. You think, how can that happen? And it's definitely possible, and it's going to be a hell of a race. That's going to be the one that you want to put asterisks next to on the calendar, because that's going to be a wild race. And conditions here today, Finian, overcast skies. No threat of rain, though, so we'll get all the laps in here tonight. It's an 80-lap race, so not necessarily a super short one if we get a couple cautions in between, but 81 in the air, 87 on the track, so a little bit muggy out there, but all things said and done, it's going to be a good race tonight for sure, and that 95 car sitting on pole is going to be one to beat. Johnny Thomas probably should have won the race last week in the Race Kings Cup Series prelude, so I think he's really hungry to get a victory to start off the season, and is our our defending series champion. So Johnny Thomas, I know, is going to be good this season. But as we head on to the back straightaway, Finian, 80 laps Daytona, you got to find your buddies, got to find your drafting partners to make it to the end, and with the drafting tweaks we've seen in recent months in the iRacing Motorsport Simulation Service, these things can push, but you got to watch those engine temps for sure. Yeah, we're going to see a lot more pushing in this race, I think, compared to tomorrow night. These cars, again, with their flatter bumpers, are able to really push on each other, lean on each other. They're able to really just build up a run. They don't have to just rely on the draft. They can easily push their way forward to the front. And I'm not sure if I misspoke. I might have. That the 83 car is not Johnny Thomas. It's actually James Simmons. Could be wrong about that. No, Johnny Thomas. It is Johnny Thomas. It said, definitely said Simmons. I don't know what was up there. Are you positive about that? No, it is James Simmons. Oh. Wow. Okay, that's my mistake there. So, coming to the green flag, the 83, that's Johnny Thomas's paint scheme. That's why it threw me off. So. New seasons, new drivers in the seat, so forgive me for that. Coming to the green flag here, Finian, 80 laps in the YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour. The 95 of Josh Adams leads them down. Green flag flies. We're racing in Daytona in 2019. See Adams able to just ike ahead of Simmons in the 83. And he's going to be leading them off into turn 1 of the 15 of Frankenfield, giving a push to the 95. Yeah, Frankenfield, the winner, the championship winner of the Driver Development Series. We know he's going to be good. This is his first opportunity to really show his stuff this season. There's Matt Grunberg, who's our in-race reporter, sitting in third in that blue and white 54 Tundras, make their way up a turn 2 down the backstretch for the first time. See some cars already changing lanes, deciding where they want to go. That was the 3 of Tanner Sharp. I gotta double check all these names because they're gonna throw me off. I believe it was the 3 of Tanner Sharp that dropped into the inside lane, and that'd be the 5 Sam Close. Oh no, Jamie Dobbs. Jamie Dobbs. See, again, we gotta get the old roster out of my head and the new one in tonight. Grunberg is pushing and shoving. Oh, slipped there, but that's the 17 of Cameron Rich, and he's the outgoing Cup Series champion from last year, and already slipping and sliding a bit early, but the 83 of Simmons gets out and noses ahead with the 14 of Kevin Finn pushing from behind. Yeah, Rich got out of shape from a push from Liam Sheenan behind him in the 51 truck, so again, you want to push, but probably not now, a little bit too early for that, but and you also got to be careful too. Now the back straightaway for a second lap in, and so far so good here, Finian, but that outside lane getting some momentum up there. There's the 38 of Robert Hill Jr. He's got the Dave Hunt car right behind him, helping him out. Yeah, when I was talking about pushing right before the race started, these guys probably aren't going to start pushing for a while here. Again, they got 80 laps to go, which is a pretty long time here, and really just a matter of feeling out the car, just kind of sit in the draft and enjoy. Looking from high above the grandstands here, the fans filled up the stadium, but to the line for lap number 3, and we're dead even at the front, Finian. 2 distinct lines, but there's definitely distinct packs forming here. You see that front group, about 10 or so cars in it, and then from there on back, it's pretty spread out as everyone's just trying to bide their time, maybe just wait until later to really increase their intensity here. And again, really the odds of a caution here are high in some respects and low in some respects. If there's going to be a wreck, it's really just going to be a matter of someone making a mistake, and although the chance of that happening is kind of high because these guys really know what they're doing. Everyone just kind of getting themselves spread out. There's Austin Darbyshire. I think that was McKeeboy working with him back there. And Carlos Acosta, the 24, is hanging out towards the rear as well. So is Levi Zielinski. As they come across the line, Simmons is going to lead that lap. He drops into the inside lane right in front of the 95 and Josh Adams. And Adams, another high performer from the Driver Development Series. We're expecting great things from him. How about Paul Ross, though, in the 18? Was one of the best cars all season last season and did not get the job done at Homestead, which he was very disappointed about, as was Peter Short in the 22, who is not returning this year. But Paul Ross in that 18, I know he's going to win some races this year, but he really lost the championship at Homestead in a very frustrating manner. So I know he's hungry to get himself back in. But Kevin Finn to the top of the charts right now off into turn 3. He'll take the lead away, but here comes Simmons powering back on the bottom.
Yeah, he's going to try to, get a run on the outside coming out of 4 here, but I'm not sure if it's enough to beat Simmons on the bottom.
Another driver to keep an eye on is David Wilson in the 39. Remember, he won the Talladega race, the Talladega Clash. He went from 10th to 1st in the final lap and was able to survive long enough to make it there, and that's a key factor of winning these restrictor plate races. He's sitting in 33rd right now, and we know he's a lot quicker than that. He's just biding his time. The sun peeks through the clouds as we make our way off of turn 2 for lap number 5. Still dead even at the front, side by side for the lead still, and you got to be paying attention to your spotter here, Finney. The slightest mistake can wad up the entire field.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why we're definitely seeing a lot of that second pack forward, because those guys could easily bunch it up here to the front, but I think they're trying to leave a little bit of a gap until we get that first big wreck that usually tends to happen. I mean, most of these races typically go clean for the most part, but there's usually at least one caution that's usually the big one.
Rusty Webb in the 88, he's powering up the outside line right behind the 51 of Liam Sheen, and then there's Cameron Rich on the inside right there, and as we make our way off into turn number 1.
Webb started in 18th up to 13.
How about Velez in the 48 car? One of those guys that probably didn't find victory lane last season, but we know he's been lurking. He was a solid top 5, top 10 race car, and I think he'll probably manage to get himself into victory lane at least once this season. A check up at the front. The inside lane's going to get a run, and Webb's going to tuck in behind and stay put for now. Back up front, though, Kevin Finn in the 14 has lost some ground to James Simmons on the inside row, and I think now the inside's going to start powering forward. Where do you want to be, Finney? I'm usually a guy that likes to be on the inside or the outside row just because you can defend a lot better up there, but it seems like the inside's pulling away right now.
Yeah, I'm one to be more on the outside lane. You got more maneuverability. Usually that outside lane tends to pinch the inside lane in, so you got more maneuverability, and also a lot of times you build up a lot more runs on the outside. I mean, we saw the 83 start on the outside. He was able to get down to the inside and clear for the lead, so I would want to be up there.
And pit stops, you got to maybe find some friends here to go to pit road when you need to make those pit stops, Finney. You don't want to pit by yourself or to lose that draft and fly backwards through the field, but still dead even at the front. I'm just waiting for someone to make a mistake, Finney, and this front group is so packed together that one little slip up, you're going to take out 10, 15, maybe 20 cars. So if you're towards the back right now, I think you're grinning because I think you know this is not going to last for the entire race.
So these guys are hoping that it doesn't last like this, because again, I think they're banking on there being a big wreck. But it has a chance of happening. You can see in the back there's some of the guys who are a little bit disconnected from the pack. They're starting to catch up. So this leading pack right now is about 20 some odd cars deep.
And maybe watch your temperatures, especially if you're farther back in line. You don't want those temps to climb too much. You'll get yourself in trouble. And back right there, I saw a car up high out of the groove, and it looked like it could have been the 8 of PJ Payne, and there he is. He's going to tuck right in behind Rusty Capel, I think, in the 9 car, the Sun Energy Chevrolet Silverado.
And he's trying to just ride it in lane. You can see these guys slow, just kind of on the tail end. And I think, honestly, if it were me, this would be the ideal place to be. You're not right in the midst of the lead pack, but you're within reach of them, and I think that's going to be the key here. So that way, you see Payne get involved in you see a wreck get involved a lot when you start to see Payne being able to make it through because he's just this far back.
The IK9 car just up and running. Let's ride on for Rusty Capel to get a better look. That's Dylan Hickey in the number 7. And oh, we got a big check up in the front here, Finney, and that's Matt Grunberg dropping out of line.
I'm curious if, and also up ahead, change for the lead here, potentially 38 of Robert Hill Jr. jumping down low.
I worry about Grunberg, Finney, because he's dropping way back, and I'm not sure if he got forced out of line or if he just dropped back there. Let's quickly take a look and find out maybe what happened here.
Oh, did he blow an engine?
Uh-oh.
Because he was looking really slow there.
Yes. Looks like he might have. No, maybe not. Seems okay, but it's way off the pace. Yeah. Definitely a problem with the 54. Not sure what it is, but maybe reduced power from some kind of issue there. But now Paul Ross has jumped to lead, so lots of drama right now as the 54 drops to the tail of the field. He was one of the guys we thought would have a chance to win tonight, but now that's all for naught. Down the back straightaway, still nose and tail, side to side at the front. Paul Ross on the 18. He missed out on a championship last year, but he's not going to take any prisoners this year. He goes to the front. Robert Hill on the outside. Kevin Finn is working his way alongside the 18.
Yeah, and like you said, Paul Ross, one of the biggest competitors in the Truck Series last season. I mean, in both, even the Cup Series as well. But yeah, I think this season he's got to be very careful. A lot of faster guys coming to the series, and I think he knows that he needs to get as many points as he can if he wants to have another shot at a championship.
38 Robert Hill Jr. He's going to give a bump draft to the 18 down the backstretch. Patrick McCusker in the number 10 car, sitting right behind Craig Schroeder in the number 41, stacked for about 15th spot. There's Kevin Jadrosich in the number 42, another guy that was really competitive in the driver development series, but missed out on victory a couple times. I think he's hungry to get one starting off this season.
Yeah, and actually, if we can look where he started, I'm curious where he's riding currently 14.
Now, back in 21st, so he's climbed up about 7 spots.
And he's still moving forward. It seems he's getting a draft off the 17 at Cameron Rich.
So the inside line seems to have prevailed a touch here. But the outside line is still competitive. I think you just have to have a certain group of cars up there. But Dave Hunt is really pushing hard in that 53. And you got to watch those temps. We talked about it, and that might have been what hurt Gruenberg, as Gruenberg is now about 12 seconds off the lead. He's actually dropped to the tail. And I wonder if he did this on purpose, because now he's perfectly back up to speed. So maybe just got out of the fight for now, but riding around in 36th. Completely out of touch with the leaders, but maybe in a much safer spot, all things considered.
Now working on lap 13, already an eighth of the way through this race. Still got about 50 minutes of racing left, and that's when we go green all the way. So decent amount of time left. We're going to have at least one pit stop here. Expecting it pretty much at halfway.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't the case, but you can always maybe see someone try to two-stop this, and if the caution come out, you can throw all that out the window here.
If we can go back to Gruenberg there, I noticed, I think I know potentially why he might have dropped back. Is because he's around his teammates Darbyshire and McEvoy in the 66 and 21.
And now you see them kind of popping out of line, and there's those 3 cars. You mentioned it, Finian, all working together back here, so picking up the team and maybe trying to move those cars forward. But I think that has a side effect of getting them out of this fight that's up towards the front as they cross the start-finish line. Again, like I said, one little mistake, you're going to wipe out the entire field up here, and if you're in the back, you're going to be in great shape. But they're really far back, so they have to make sure that they have enough time to draft back up. But 12.5 seconds, that's a long way to go, even with 60-something laps left in the race. So gotta keep in mind that if there's no yellow, they have a lot of work to do. Another car popping out of line, that's Dylan Hickey in the 7th car. He's going to drop below the yellow. And speaking of the yellow line, Finian, once the white flag waves, no yellow line rule. And that.
Whoa! He was trying to get up mid-corner and he slipped a little bit.
And he might be picking up the 83 of James Simmons, and I would expect that to be the case. And Simmons dropped back pretty far after leading the opening couple laps here. So that they're going to work back together here.
Yeah, but you're saying?
What was I saying? Lost my train of thought.
I lost your train of thought too. So.
For the lead, though, here comes the outside lane once again, and there's Josh Adams in the 95. Man, is he strong. And he's got a great run. He's got help from the 14 of Kevin Finn, the 53 of Dave Hunt as they work their way down the back straightaway now. Sam Close in the 5 is also lurking back here. He's currently in 7th place, and he's the white and black number 5 car. You see him on the outside lane, about 4th in line. He's got Rusty Webb, the double 8 right behind him. Biding your time.
Yeah, and really that's all what this opening stint is. And even the first 2/3 of the race is really just kind of biding your time, running out the laps, because really all that matters is the laps towards the end, and the rest are just getting yourself in a position where you can fight for the win here.
Paul Ross noses ahead off into turn number 1. As 3WideRacing number 18, and 38's going to drive right up to the rear bumper, but can't quite get clear of the 95, and this is why I like that outside lane that's really strong when you have the right trucks out there, and it looks like right now, Josh Adams has a very strong vehicle and was able to pull even with Paul Ross, but not able to clear him. I think in the closing laps, I'd rather be up there than be on the inside, because you get pinched down there. However, the inside lane, a lot easier to avoid accidents when they happen. If you're in the outside lane and a crash happens in front of you, forget it, you're in it. So there's definitely pros and cons to each lane.
Yeah, but so far everyone playing nice with each other. No major incidents or any thing of people getting into each other yet. Everyone's been giving each other space for this first quarter of the race.
But just to keep...
Whoa, as you say that, a big big slide on the 53.
That kind of checked up everybody. But I was just about to mention Matt Gruenberg, Finney, and they have still dropped, even with, they're all working together, they've dropped 16 seconds off this front group, but wow, that might be a blessing in disguise here. Look at this, they're getting really shovey here, Finney. You've got to be careful not to get into each other and take out the entire field, but close quarters racing here in the Unreal Tour so far this season. I expect this all season, but this is really going to set the standard for who we expect to be good this year. Just judging by the moves here. And in the past, people would say restricted plate races are kind of crapshoots, and to some extent that's true. But at the same time, it's where you put your car on track and how you plan it out. You can get a really good indicator as to what the driver's thinking in their head. Yeah. And I think, like I always say, it's like a chess match at 190 miles an hour. And while the luck might not always go your way, I think that chess match and how you play that game kind of defines you as a driver. So keep an eye on who's up front tonight. I bet you he'll be good this season.
And also, YNZR just finally broke inside the top 10. There he is in the inside line, so slowly moving his way up, position by position.
Kind of more the gyro cam here inside this car. You get a good look at the dashboard. And you mentioned YNZR said she's going to crack the top 10 after 18 laps, find 11 spots. And you see the banking here in the tri-oval, and this is really a difficult spot. Maybe not. I feel like Talladega's is actually trickier because of the bump they have there, but you'll see a lot of times there's crashing on the straightaways at super speedways, not so much in the corners. But remember back to the Talladega Clash, we had a massive crash off in turn number 1 because of a slight miscalculation. So very easy for things to go wrong very quickly. Not a whole lot of time to avoid it if it happens. But there's that front group, and let's just wait here. There's a group of 2 cars that I think is...
That's Simmons and...
it's actually... it's the 8 car. 8 truck, excuse me, of PJ Payne and Liam Sheen. They're tucked together. And then it's Jordan McKeeboy leading this 3rd and final pack. I get nervous when they're so tucked up close like this. Paul Ross leads another lap. He's been probably the dominant truck since the first couple laps of the race.
Yeah, he's looking like he's really hard to pass guys and is not able to find a way around that 18.
And he started 11th, so he's actually climbed up 10 spots so far this race. Robert Hill started 6th, but take a look real quick to see who's climbed up the farthest. Rusty Webb is up 8 spots. YNZR is up 10. Zielinski is up 10 as well. Craig Schroeder, 15th to 13th. No surprises here. Chuck Sweeting started 27th. He's up to 19th. But for the most part, I think we've had a lot of people go backwards. Not a whole lot of people climb that far forwards.
Yeah.
Truck Robert Hill Jr., a name that's new to us this season, and he's certainly putting his name out there, and will be one to watch this season. But how about the 48 of Velez? We talked about him last season. Actually got replaced a couple times. I think he couldn't make a few races, so he had another driver fill in for him, and that was Tanner Sharp. But Velez back in full this season and running the inside lane right now in 8th place. There's Dave Hunt on the outside lane. And see, that's the 38 that hit the apron there exiting turn 2. And when you're following a truck this close behind Finney, it's really easy. Remember, we're sitting on top of the roof right now. If we climb inside this car, you can't see anything in front of Nathan Velez right now. And when you get really close, you're going to hit the apron, you're going to hit each other. It's just difficult to see where you're going here. So some of this is muscle memory.
Yeah, it really is a lot of muscle memory, and also just, being aware of your surroundings at all times, because it can change on a dime. And yeah, sure, you have a spotter, but he can only tell you really what's going on next to you, not really what's going on behind you.
So, all things said and done, I mean, we've had close racing, but no real drama yet to speak of. You mentioned how clean it's been. We really haven't had any car-to-car contact. The 54 jumped out of line, that jacked some of the group up, but that's how close we're racing. I'm really impressed so far. There's a couple guys shuffling in the midfield there. The outside lane trying to pull dead even with the inside once again off into turn 3, but not quite close enough to do it. Josh Adams trying to get a push from Kevin Finn, but they just don't have the momentum yet. A white truck dropped in the inside lane. That was, I think that's 0 actually is who I was looking at, and that is Corey Lindsay, one of the Race Kings prelude to the 250 last week.
Yeah, and based off qualifying, I remember qualifying relatively poorly.
20th.
Yeah, around midfield, but yeah, he's currently running in 14th, so moved up a few spots and just at the tail end of this group.
What is on the tailgate at 52?
I don't know, you gotta ask Acosta, or not Acosta, Cole.
Again, forgive us for messing up the names. We're so used to saying drivers that are associated with a certain number.
Yeah.
And a new group, new season. Certainly messing us up tonight. So we'll get that all sorted out for next week. We're rookies. Chad Brown was working the outside lane. He's dead even with Corey Lindsay. He's even to pop out. There's the nose of the 64. And Rusty Capel, the 9 truck, right behind him.
It started in 31st, so moved up a hell of a lot of spots.
Yeah, that's 16, 15 spots. That's our biggest mover so far, I think. Kyle Zimmer, 32nd to 17th, another climb for him.
I'm sure he probably followed people all the way through.
How about this one? 14 spots for Richard Hines.
Interested in seeing what Richard Hines can bring to the table this year. We've seen him do pretty well on the dirt tracks. I'm sure he's going to be happy that there's quite a few on the schedule this season. That's where we expect to see him excel.
Well, we talked about the outside line, maybe prevailing in the late going. I like where Josh Adams is right now. He's far up enough where he's kind of out of harm's way, but he's also up front close enough where he can make a move if he needs to. So that 95, I think, is really in a good spot, but we have a long way to go, Finian, and to start maybe thinking about pit stops relatively soon, next 10-15 laps, and you're going to have to find a drafting buddy to do it, and that can often be the scariest time at a restrictor plate track, is getting off of the racing surface to get down to pit road, and then standing on the brakes. They don't build these trucks with great brake packages for Daytona to save the weight, so when you step on that pedal, they'll be ready to catch it if it slides out on you.
Yeah, you know, that's also a big thing too, is making sure you're on the line you want to be when the guys are coming down the pits, especially if you're on the inside and you got guys pitting ahead of you, being able to check up and try to avoid them while also trying not to lose a lot of speed. That's usually a potential where we see a lot of big accidents occur.
Inside lane beginning to pull on the outside now, and there is the 15 of Frankenfield. And if this is not the freshest and best young talent we've seen in the past couple months in any league, I mean, that'd be amazingly surprising. You see Sam Close bobble a bit on the apron, but this 15 car, he shot out of a cannon in the driver development series. He's been solid ever since. Honestly, I think he's a championship contender, if not the championship contender. I think this car, or this truck rather, is going to be one we're going to be following all season long over every type of racetrack. He just was unstoppable in the Xfinity B car. I don't think that's going to change with the truck.
If we're talking about championship contenders, let's talk about the 6 of Levi Zelensky, who's having a quiet day in 11th so far. I haven't said his name on the broadcast yet. Was also fighting in the Final Four for the Truck Series last season. Currently, as I said, running 11th. Started in 22nd, but yeah, he's also hoping for a better season. Kind of struggled in the later parts of the season. Started off pretty well. Yeah, the latter half of the season was not great. You see, there's the 88 elevator top to bottom. There goes Rusty Webb right in front of Zelensky. But you mentioned the latter half of the season didn't really go Zelensky's way. He had some awful luck as well. So looking to change things, but again, it's a long season. Remember, we only covered the series from race 5 to race 21 last year. The whole season is under the SYM TV banner, Sundays at 9:40 from now until November. So a long way to go. But I think Zelensky is hungrier than ever to get himself back into victory lane and be competitive this season. I think he only won one time last season. Once or twice. Something like that. There's the 97 of Kyle Zimmer. He's working the outside lane right behind Rusty Capel. Oh, he didn't win any times. There's that bad luck I was talking about. Oh, we got pit stops here, and a couple drivers pulling off the racing line. Whoa, 97 loose under braking. I think he spun off the track.
Did he spin? Oh, the 15 car. He might have gotten some damage there as well. And Zimmer spins, and we stay green, but he'll pull it back in and lose a bunch of ground, and he's going to be in trouble. But let's quickly take a look at what happened. You mentioned it. It's off the racetrack. Was there contact? Oh, the 64. No, he just got on the brakes too hard and spun it. And then the 15 car of Frankenfield had a separate incident. He actually hit the inside wall. Let's take a look at this.
I wonder if he got in trying to avoid someone else, or did someone get into him?
He's locked up. Oh. And he pancaked that pretty hard there, and that's going to really hurt his performance.
Yeah, I thought he just got damage to his nose, but that last slide is kind of torn up.
That's really torn up. But yeah, I don't know how that's going to be.
Oh,
he's really struggling. He might have suspension damage as well, but let's head back up to the front. More pit stops underway here. There's Cameron Rich. 14 of, oh no, he's spinning too, and that's a huge hit for the 41 car, hard into the fence, back out on the racetrack.
Into the 24 of Acosta.
Acosta gets involved, and this is proving to be extremely difficult.
And
that car's toast.
Yeah, that car is toast. I was going to say he's going to get a penalty too for not entering safely, but that's the least of his worries. But yeah,
there was
another incident on entry. And I was talking about it earlier, but didn't expect it to be this bad. Entering pits, but guys having very hard trouble slowing down. Wow, Capel.
Yeah, and the 14 got a piece of that as well. So drama here on pit lane as the rest of the field comes on through. We still got a couple guys that have not come, and they got to be looking at that going, all right, we got to not do what they just did, Finian.
Yeah, they got to plan this out and be very careful, especially now they're working around some lap traffic, because some of the guys are going to be caught out here.
This is definitely a two-stop race, but we're talking about the fuel mileage so far.
Oh no! I was talking about watching out.
The 38's going to spin right back onto the racetrack and flips the 88 and spins again. Pit road, the trouble spot today.
How is the oh, there it is.
And right there, the caution flies. And they're admin cautions. That's why they took so long to fly. But the 88 car gets tagged, and just pit road has been dramatic tonight. And we mentioned the brakes, Finian. He clips the 2 car. Oh, drama. All right, let's take a look at this one too. I don't really know where this one started. I think it started with...
It started with Webb going, hitting Lindsay.
Oh, Corey Lindsay just flew in there. We got to follow the 00. This was really where it started, I think. And let's ride on board the 00. And I'm not... Was he aware that this field was coming? Or was he coming with them?
Well, he was stuck on the inside line. They were going around
he was
him.
Coming.
Whoa! You're on the
wrong car. Okay. Yeah, that 00 was flying in there. What was going on there?
He got hit from the 88 of Rusty Webb on the outside. Yeah, there you see the field coming up through. He's minding his business thing on the inside. And then watch the 88 truck there, that Napa truck.
Oh, yeah. He was just completely... Oh, my goodness, a big hit there. Clips the 88, swings across the racetrack, and somehow these guys... This is a very dangerous spot to be in. Somehow they didn't get clipped. But the 88 car, you got a feel for him. He was having a good race, and then he got some pretty significant damage here. Let's ride on board his tailgate as we come down to pit road. I think he thinks he's in free and then just gets clipped. He was going to get a penalty either way, but adding insult to injury there. So dramatic. Well, let's look from the spectator cam video to see how crazy this looked from up here on top of the grandstands. And you see off in the distance there. And just covered the entire racetrack. And I'm amazed that those cars on the racetrack didn't get clobbered, and they're really lucky the timing of that worked out. But cars crashed all over pit road, and that's a very strange spot to have all those issues, and especially after there were so many issues to start off that pit sequence. You would have thought people would have figured it out by the 3rd time, but all 3 groups had trouble getting to pit road.
I'm guessing people just really underestimated the conditions, although you would think, again, with the overcast, that the track would be as grippy as it can be. So, yeah, I'm not sure why... I'm also a little bit surprised at how sketchy it is, but yeah, I'm guessing people just getting on the brakes too hard and just, again, a lot of miscommunication leading to a lot of these crashes.
Well, the 38 Robert Hill Jr. was collected in that, but he doesn't seem to be very damaged at all, so I think he's going to be okay. Matt Gruenberg, however, is in a great spot. I mentioned how he dropped to the back early, avoided... there was no crash, so he didn't have that to worry about, but he did manage to get through the pit sequence okay. But Kevin Finn in the 14, actually we got the 69 car who scored as the leader, but I think that's...
I think a lot of people shuffled out because that happened mid-sequence, so there are actually quite a few cars stuck behind the pace car, but not necessarily a lap down, so we're going to see a lot of wave around, potentially seeing the caution extended.
Yeah, so that ticker is going to be all over the place for the next couple minutes as we get everything sorted out, but a lot of the front runners collected in that Frankenfield, especially Robert Hill Jr.
Yeah, let's see if we can kind of get a damage report.
Yes, the 15 car, he's torn up. That car is going to be really struggling to maintain pace, I think. We saw, who else? The 41 car, he's done for the night easily. Craig Schroeder is out of this race. That car is destroyed. Carlos Acosta, that car damaged engine, so he should be done for the night. Corey Lindsay as well. Hit pretty hard. He should be able to get back in the fight, though. Rusty Capel, I think he's okay. I don't think he was collected in any of it. Levi Zielinski got through okay. Who else was involved there, Finian? I think that covers all the major ones.
Yeah, a lot of drivers caught up in pit road incidents there.
Let's see if we can talk to the 54 of Matt Gruenberg. We'll take a little chat here and see what's going on inside that cockpit of the number 54 as we'll grab Matt Gruenberg. Hey, Matt Gruenberg, it's Kyle from SYM TV. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, Matt. Well, kind of a dramatic start to the pit stop sequence there, but it looks like you got through okay. And right now I'm looking down the grid trying to find where you are, and it looks like 54 is currently... Where are you? Oh, there you are. Sixth place. So, so far so good for you. You dropped to the back early to get with your teammates. What's the plan from here on out? You got about 50 laps to go.
Well, we got through the first part of the race. We're going to try to get some stage points here at lap 40. And then we're going to pit there, get full tank, and we're going to try to make it to the end without pitting. Hopefully there'll be a caution or two to help us get there, but if not, we'll probably have to make another green flag stop. I think we can go about 31 laps, so that's about as long as we can go. That caution really helps us out there, and you know, we'll see how it goes at the end. I'm not going to be dropping back anymore, so we'll see.
How was the pit road entrance from your perspective? I mean, I think we saw a lot of drivers really struggling with that. We had 3 separate groups come down, and all of them struggled to get on pit road. Is it really slick? Is it the brakes, the brake bias, the weather conditions? What do you think's making it so slick down there?
I really don't. Well, if I had to put my money on it, I would say probably the tire wear. But, I mean, it's not really that slick out here, so I don't think that's the problem. I'd say it's probably tire wear, if anything, or they're just over braking. And they're, you know, sliding the tires and getting loose with the brake bias entering pit road. But I didn't really have any experience with that because I didn't pit before that caution came out, so.
All right, Matt. Well, good luck out there. Keep it up front and keep it out of the fence. We'll see you later.
Yep, thank you.
All right, so 1 to green here, Finian. We've kind of shuffled up the order. So Kevin Finn is now your leader. You mentioned how that caution helped before Gruenberg. How about Cameron Rich starting in E2 here? Nathan Velez, Chuck Sweeting, Jordan McKeeboy rounding out your top 5. So really all those 1-sim cars got kind of won out of the strategy, Finian. They're sitting 5th, 6th, and where's the 21? Oh, no, yeah. 5th, 6th, and 7th, so right in line.
Yeah, and also wondering where's the other one, or is Jadersic in
Jadersic is 23rd right now.
Yeah, remember, I think that'll probably do it because I think he went off sequence of the rest of his teammates because he was up in the lead group, so he got cycled out back, but a lot of wave rounds, 18 through 26 taking wave rounds at the moment, everyone else a lap down.
We had 13 lead changes in the first 34 laps. That's about 1 every 2 laps for those that like to do some math on a Sunday night. But coming back to the green, so the 54 laid out his strategy here. Get some stage points at lap 40. The halfway point is where they award points. Top 10 cars. And the question becomes your strategy. I mean, you can go about 31 laps on fuel, so it's going to definitely be a 2-stopper when you make that final pit stop. I don't really think it matters that much, but I think what you have to judge is conditions of the racetrack around you. You don't want to get caught mid-sequence like what happened to a lot of these cars out here. So coming back to the green flag, Finian. Oh, caution extended 1 lap here, so we'll come back around again.
Yeah, I think that's just for get the way around's all sorted out. Those guys still catching up to the field. Looking through them, yeah, so Jadersic, sorry, not Jared. I'm just kind of looking through guys. Oh, James Simmons, he's caught a lap down. Johnny Thomas in the 09, he's a lap down.
Oh, Johnny Thomas is in the race in the 0. Okay, I thought he just wasn't here.
I didn't see him either. Yeah,
there's a lot of cars in this race, so excuse us for being terrible tonight, but there's 37 cars in this race, and there's a long list to look down on our timing and scoring screen. So,
yeah, also Tate Lytle, notably, Hancha. A lot of the notable names from the series from last season too. They're all kind of stuck in the back part, but also some names we're seeing pop up here in the front after this big shakeup. Thomas Morris in the 69 and 11th, and Matt Hackathorn in the 44 and 10th. They're both moved themselves up, as well as Wilson and Chuck Sweeting also in 4th right now.
We got a lot of wave rounds here. How about the Chevy Toyota split up towards the front? Pretty even there Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, Chevy. Pretty even, I'd say. Lack of Fords, but they don't have any, so that's... All right, predictions from here on out, Finny? Are we going to see more another caution quickly after this? We're going to go green for a while. What's your take?
Based off that first one, everyone was really calm with each other. Like, there was almost no incidents between any drivers. You usually see somebody get shoved out of line or something happen. But there's almost none of that. A few minor things, the guys just hitting each other, but that tend to happen. But yeah, that opening run, caution extended again. By the way, I think it's just sort the whole field out after that crazy caution. But yeah, I think these guys should be able to go green for quite a while. I think the next time we'll see caution, it might be under pit stops.
I'm going to disagree. I think we're going to see a caution pretty quick again here. I think the intensity level is going to climb, especially we're going to have about 2 or 3 laps to the end of the stage. We know that every point matters, and when you're, especially if you're a driver that might not think you can run consistently this season, these are, oh, hello camera. These are going to be points that are up for grabs for pretty much anybody that's near the front. I think they know the camera's there. So I think we're going to see the aggression level pop up here, and I think that we're going to see another caution relatively quickly, if not at the stage. 14 car going to be leading him back down to the green as the rest of the field catches back up. Here there's a few cars still catching, Rusty Capel being one of them. I think that's the sole reason we're under yellow for one additional lap here. So if it wasn't confusing enough, we just shook up the entire field and threw him back in a random order after the pit stop sequence. And you mentioned Matt Hackathorn. How about this? The 44 car returning this season after, I remember back to Talladega when he went careening through the sky, barrel rolling several times. But we love Matt Hackathorn. Good to see him back this season. You mentioned Thomas Morris in the 69 car. He is riding around an 11th spot at the moment. Oh, I think we found our man, Finian. Matt Hackathorn's the postman.
Yeah.
Because he's going to lick the stamp and send it?
I remember seeing that in the testing race. I forgot that was plastered on there.
That's our boy. Hackathorn's going to be the postman from here on out. We're saying it right now, right here. All right. Kevin Rich on the outside lane. He's got Chuck Sweeting tucked in behind him. How about Sweeting? He put on a great performance last week in the Cup Series side of things. See if he can repeat that performance tonight. Then look at that purple truck in the background, Finn. I'm just saying, David Wilson, don't take your eye off this guy when it gets down to the end.
Yeah, he's got put up in prime position there, 4th on the outside row, so I think we're going to have to keep an eye on him. As well as some other drivers here have been just shuffled up here and see what they're going to do now. They got this newfound track position.
Look at all the way around single file from about 20th on back. Coming back to the green flag. Pace cars off, going back green. Finally, green flag flies, racing again in the YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour at Daytona.
And also notably, we're 4 laps till the halfway points are awarded, so these guys are already getting single file here.
Already single file. I mean, I think we're going to see the aggression level rise here. I think that's the calm before the storm as they exit turn number 2.
Very surprised they're sorted out single file, but again, I think this is all temporary. Once guys start to build up a run, speaking of which, here comes Grunberg now looking to the outside.
There's David Wilson popping out of line 2. I told you it's going to get wild as they're all strung out now. There's a 39 all by himself up there. No help at the front. And there is Paul Ross getting a shove from Hackathorn. There is the 54 of Grunberg and the 21 of McKeeboy. They're teaming up together. And for the lead, it's Kevin Finn, Cameron Rich, Nathan Velez, 1, 2, 3. Chuck Sweeting and that Grunberg tucked in right behind that outside lane, getting some momentum with the 18 leading it. Derbyshire trying to pull over in front of him. Can't quite get clear, though. And here comes Sweeting in the 26 to the outside lane.
Sweeting's been very quiet in this race. He's now got help from Grunberg in the 54 as well as the 21 on the outside. So they're going to start to build up the charge here.
A run for the 26 on the outside. Does he have enough time to get to the top spot? As they exit turn number 2. There's Kevin Finn still leading this race. Paul Ross and the 44 package were working together in the outside lane behind them. Everyone else strung out single file. Here comes the 26, a big run down the back straightaway. Do you think he's got enough speed to make it here, Finn? It doesn't look like they're getting a great run. It's not bad, but you got to get a really good shove to get yourself to the lead.
Again, I think they're just quietly building up a run here. You see Cameron Rich thinking about going to the outside. Chuck Sweeting's not letting him. He's going to hold him open there on the outsides, and now Sweeting going to continue on that charge. Here they come, 2 laps to go to halfway.
2 to go to the stage, and the 14's got a mirror full of the 17 car. The outside lane, though, is being really competitive. The 54 is pushing and leaning on that 26. Watch those temperatures, though. You're blocking that air intake. There's 21 of McKeeboy in behind, and look at David Wilson. Was about 10th to 12th on the restart. He's up in 6th right now on the inside row. And Derbyshire behind, he's got help from the 69. I believe that's a 69 of Thomas Morris, and yes, it is. Sweeting got a great run down the back straightaway that time through. That outside lane looking more and more competitive. Ross has tagged on there, but the 54 looking outside. Maybe he wants to split them 3 wide, but won't be able to do it. Coming to 1 to go to the stage. Cameron Rich popping out of line. He's going to jump to the outside lane right in front of the 26 of Sweeting.
You can see all the intensity pickup here. Last lap for the stage here. All the points are on the line. Cameron Rich leads at the line.
That 17 car got a great run to the outside lane, and now the pushing and shoving begins. The 48 got a great run. The 17 drops to the inside. Here comes the 26 to the outside. Does he have enough help? Behind him, 3 wide for position.
Yeah, 69 squarely on the apron there. He's
Morris is going
to collect it.
Got cars loose and sliding on the backstretch, and the 51 of Liam Sheen spins. Caution out.
Caution is out. Just as we're about to come to halfway, and leader is
Cameron Rich is the leader.
Cameron Rich will lead at halfway. It'll be 10 points awarded to him. As we wait for these guys to get cycled out, looks like it's going to be Kevin Finn 2nd, Chuck Sweeting 3rd, Nathan Velez 4th.
Told you so.
Matt Gruenberg 5th, David Wilson 6th, Jordan McKeeboy 7th, Paul Ross 8th, Austin Darbyshire 9th, and Sam Close will round out your top 10. Those 10 will get points here for the first time this season.
I told you they'd wanted that.
They're doing a decent job there, though.
Oh no, they did a great job, but they're just quite a bit of drama towards rear. Liam Sheen, I think he didn't hit anything, or if he did, it was yes, he did get hit on thing here. Let's go back and take a look at what happened. There was crash kind of in front of this, but let's ride on board with the 51 was already kind of shaved.
That wasn't 51, that was 69.
Here we go. Here's on board with Liam Sheen.
See 69 there. He's gonna have a big wobble there. That's going to make everyone else check up here just a little bit.
Oh, he gets turned from the outside and spins across the racetrack. And
he got I think, turned off the nose of the 95 of Joshua Adams.
Yeah, so he actually got away with that with relatively little damage. Let's take another look from a different angle. And you mentioned it was the 95? I think you're right here, and we're going to see how close this gets. Oh, 95 lost the nose for a second.
I think he hit Janicic. That launched him up into 51, so big chain reaction crash there.
And Liam did a great job getting this thing low down. It could have been a lot worse. Let's ride on board with the 95. Get a better look from his onboard at what he saw. The 69 gets together here. And I don't know if he made contact with the 42. Right on board with 42. Maybe some net code there potentially, but either way, the 51 got the short end of the stick there for sure. Okay, pit stop's underway this time, Finn, and now it'll be a lot easier to not wreck your stuff this time when you're pitting, but Chuck Sweeting stays out.
Also, a big thing too, I wonder, our guys are going to potentially stretch it here, because by the time we go back green, it's going to be around lap 45, and we heard Grunberg said we think we can go 31 laps. It's going to be kind of close, but it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. As you see, race off pit road, Kevin Finn looks like he's going to lead that. We have Cameron Rich, David Wilson, Jordan McKeeboy there.
So a couple drivers stuck out on the racetrack, one of them being Chuck Sweeting in the 26. Here is your order on the left-hand side of the screen is Paul Ross. Say 2nd, Sam Close 3rd, Hackathorn 4th. The top 5 have stayed out on the racetrack, and from 6th on back have all come to pit road.
Interesting call there from these guys.
Well, you have to pit again either way. So I think it's just a track position call here. I don't really know. I mean, you can go 31 laps. You have to get to lap 50. I don't think you're going to be able to save that much, Vinny. I mean, you have to save at least 5 or 6 laps. I don't think that's going to be possible. If we have more cautions, for sure, I mean, I think that would be the realm of possibility. I don't think they're going to be able to stretch it from here. I mean, I know Gruber was going to try, but I just don't see that happening. So we'll see how it works out. But either way, you're almost for sure going to have to pit again. The only thing we do know is that the top 5 will 100% have to.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
6th on back. In some realm of possibility, I guess there is a possibility they could make it. I would not bet I'll bet my money on that though. So.
No, yeah, they're the only way they can make it really is they're going to have to do some very good fuel saving here.
And I don't really know if it's worth it. I mean, I think we're going to have another caution at some point. So I would go for 2-stop strategy and. Well, it's a 2-stop strategy no matter what, but we'll see how it goes. Coming back to the restart here, and what I presume will be about 2 laps. David Wilson will restart in the 8th spot. look at our conditions, Vinny. We mentioned Grunberg said that it wasn't really slick out here, and I believe him. It's relatively cool.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
And Daytona has never been a racetrack where you've had to worry about grip levels at all. But we saw, I mean, it's not like I would just be amazed if everyone made the same mistake. I'd have to believe that there was something, whether it be brake bias or the tire wear, as Grunberg mentioned. I just don't think everyone would just slam their brake pedal to the floor. These guys all know what they're doing. I'd be amazed if that many people had made that same mistake. So I think there's something that's not quite working in the brake pedals, and if we have green flag stops again, it's going to be a trouble spot again tonight.
Yeah, I would like to think, but I think a lot of those guys, I would imagine now, have learned that there was some sort of chaos going into the pit. So I think that next time they'll be a little bit more careful. I think we might still see some problems, but I don't think as extensive as we saw that first round of pit stops.
Yeah, I think now it's definitely, I mean, we all know that being aggressive on pit entry can gain you time, but being overly aggressive is going to lose you the race. I mean, you might gain a 10th, but you could lose a minute, and you don't want to be on the receiving end of anyone else's issues either. So conservative entries to pit road, if we go green flag stops again, extremely important. But again, we're going to be closing in on about 35 to go when we take the green, 36 to go roughly. But in terms of dominant cars, I got to look at that 18 car of Paul Ross and say he's probably the quickest car out here. Either that or the 14 of Kevin Finn. Both of them have been up front all night long. And but I wouldn't count out the groups that have teammates, or a lot of teammates, like especially the YNZR guys, because they've been working together so far. They've shown that they want to work together, and you're always stronger in numbers at a restricted plate track.
See everyone double plowing over here. So Chuck Sweet and Paul Ross are going to be leading the field down towards the green. Well, let's take a look at how many people we've lost so far in the race.
Okay, so the cars that are officially retired from this event are Corey Lindsay in the 00, and the 41 of Craig Schroeder. Race Clark in the 25 was a did not start.
And also, so it looks like Acosta is out on the track. It looks like Ron also out on the track. Kevin Giavricic, he's currently in the pits.
I didn't see what happened to Giavricic.
I'm surprised he's that far back there. I'm curious. Damage?
He did get hit on the right front. It could have been suspension damage that led to that problem, because he was involved in the most recent incident with Liam Sheen. When Sheen came down the racetrack, they clobbered right front, or right to left front, and I think that hurt the suspension on the 42. So Giavricic got the short end of the stick luck-wise again. It seems to have been his story so far in 2019 has been bad luck. So coming back to the restart, all right, predictions here, cautions-wise. I think we're going to see a caution. I think we'll see one more caution tonight, and that'll be it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. I think probably that caution might come out under green flag pit stops. Again, we've seen the conditions here be a little sketchy coming down into the pits. Not entirely sure why. It might be the tires, might be something with the setup. Maybe these guys just didn't predict, but that's it seems to be the trouble spot for a lot of guys.
Pace car's going to pull off. We've had 2 cautions here so far tonight. We have 36 laps to go. Chuck Sweeting, Paul Ross, Sam Close, Matt Hackathorn, Patrick McCusker, your top 5. Green flag back in the air here at Daytona.
Big stack up the line, yeah.
That was the Dave Hunt car and the 83 of Jaden Simmons that got together. I don't think there's a lot of damage to either of those 2 cars. I think Dave Hunt might have made some contact, but there's a crinkle on left front that could have been there. There's a rear dent in the 83 I don't think was there before, so stack up there early. 26 of Sweeting, no help there. He's got the 5 car of Sam Close on the outside row, and Paul Ross is dropped in behind the 5 car.
Yeah, Ross and Close hooking up together, trying to work together on the outside lane.
And whoa, look at this at the front here, Finney. The 5 and the 18 drop to the inside row. There's the 44 and 14 on the outside. And so Sweeting goes back to 3rd. There's the 10 of Patrick McCusker. In the middle of all of it, Dave Wilson, who's chosen the outside along with the 48 of Nathan Velez as they round turn number 4. And come to 35 laps to go in race number 1 here this season.
They see Chuck Sweeting trying to join up there with Hackathorn and also the 14 of Kevin Finn there.
We've seen a lot of respectful racing so far for a restrictor plate track. I mean, I can tell you racing these things is not easy for long extended periods of time, especially double wide. We have not been single file at all tonight, at least in the top couple dozen cars or so. Out of turn 2, though, side by side again, Sam Close is in the lead. I'm still looking at that 18 car, though, and still thinking he's in a dominant position and in a great spot right now. But the outside row is starting to make some ground, and the 26 of Sweeting is going to go to the lead here in turn 3.
Yeah, and also Sweeting has no lead to any of the people up toward the front right now, so he can just kind of go wherever he pleases. So he might be, if he can, he might try to touch down in front of the 5 of Sam Close.
Back to the line now. 5 of the 18 lined up. On the outside, it's the 26, the 44, the 14, and the 39. And they're going to nose ahead. They got some strong cars up there, and I think that's what you need to have that outside line run. You can't just have anybody out there. It's got to be drivers that are willing to push and shove and maybe risk some engine temperature to make it. And don't forget that blowing your engine is the worst thing that can happen to you, but you can actually just lose power from overheating. So you don't want to do that either, because that's really hard to come back from. So don't get your temperatures too high. You'll find yourself sliding backwards through the field. And Sam Coe's going to rocket back to lead in turn 3 with help from Paul Ross. Levi Zielinski in the 6 car in the outside row. He's kind of in no man's land right now. He's in a bad spot if they get together.
Yeah, he's kind of stuck in the middle of the track. There you see Henry Sporter, 54 Matt Groomer there on the inside. But yeah, he's stuck in the middle of all this traffic. So if something goes down, he's going to be in a horrible spot.
And look behind him. He's got nowhere to escape.
He's got nowhere to go. He's completely
surrounded. Check up. And I think he was just backing off the throttle, not running to the back of the 97. But you saw how quickly that can propagate through the field. It's like a wave from the front to the back.
Yeah, I think that's what you're seeing. Zielinski, he's way off the bumper of the 97 of Kyle Zimmer up ahead of him in that Ally truck. Just to make sure in case something happens, he's able to react in time.
Definitely need to leave some space nose to tail when you're that deep in the pack. Up front, you can push. The 44 slips out of line for a moment, though. That's a dangerous thing to do. The top 20 cars or so all close together here. There is a second pack that's about 4 seconds back off the lead, but up here, this is the battle for the top spot. There's David Wilson looking to the middle. They'll jump back in line. I don't think you want to try 3 wide, maybe till 10 to go.
Yeah, you should avoid it if when necessary. And obviously now is not really necessary. We got 30 laps to go, which is still a long way, 75 miles, until we get checkered flags. So these guys don't really have to do anything too crazy yet. Again, just run out the laps till it comes down to crunch time, then start playing moves 3 wide. And also of note here too, with going 3 wide is a lot harder here than it is at Talladega. Talladega, a much wider track. You can even go 4 wide there pretty relatively comfortably.
Yeah.
Here, Daytona, it's kind of hard to even go 3 wide here.
Similar designs, similar construction strategies, but they race incredibly differently. Yeah. And you mentioned the width of the racetrack. Yeah, 3 wide at Daytona is really sketchy, and that only got worse when they added the safer barrier. Now that was a great improvement for the racetrack as a whole for safety, but it also did make the surface about 3 to 4 feet less wide than it otherwise would have been.
Yeah, which might not seem like much, but that's a big difference for a driver. That's a lot of track that you've lost that you can maneuver around. Speaking of maneuvering, there you see Chuck Sweeting taking the lead away from Sam Close.
But let's be honest, if you were going to hit a wall, you want to hit a safer barrier wall. You saw Liam Sheen hit that safer barrier in the outside lane. It wasn't a very hard hit, but not a whole lot of damage received from that. It was mostly from the car-to-car contact, but if you hit the concrete, your night's over. I think it's a good time for a SYM TV sound surge. How about that? Well, some great racing here in the inaugural YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour race here this season, but up front, it's still Sam Close in the 5. Chuck Sweeting. Matt Hackathorn has moved his way up into 3rd spot right now. He's got Paul Ross to his inside, adding the 14 of Kevin Finn right in his rear bumper. Less than 30 to go here at Daytona. One more pit stop left for these drivers, and I think without cautions, I think those drivers that pit on lap 42 are definitely going to have to come again, so the strategy worked out for those that stayed out under the last caution. But when do you pit? How do you pit? With who do you pit? And keep yourself out of trouble. Those are the things we have to watch.
Yeah, and, as you said, we're on inside 3rd laps to go, so at any point in time, guys, the fuel window is now open to make a final pit stop. You can make it to the end from here for sure, so curious if we're going to see anyone to opt in to come early rather than come in later with all the traffic.
I guess we'll see how it works out here, but Close and the 18 of Paul Ross, I think, have been working together really nicely, and Chuck Sweeting has now split them. He's in between. The Sweeting sandwich right now as they come to the start-finish line for lap number 54. And I guess, well, I think it's really 20 to go, maybe 15, where you start to kind of play your strategic interaction with other drivers, and you start to kind of place yourself where you need to be for the end. But I would say 15 seems too little. I think you got to go with 20 to go. And if you're in the back right now, you have to start moving now. I mean, you have to make up some ground before you come to pit road. There's Paul Ross jumping to the outside lane right in front of Hackathorn. He's going to take a great run to the outside row here and potentially shoot back to the lead. But especially if they're that outside lane, how are you going to get yourself to pit road, Finian?
Yeah, kind of a hope and a prayer, but yeah, you really got to start positioning yourself to come into pit road 5 laps before you plan on actually doing so, because you need to cycle your way out towards the back somehow, and especially if you're a guy like Paul Ross, you're stuck on the outside. But here he is now with a big run towards the lead here.
Yeah, the 5-car wiggle, then that kind of stacked up the inside row for a moment as we head off into number turn 1 on the drone cam. We're door-to-door for the lead, and Paul Ross now pulls dead even with the 5 to close.
Yeah, Hackathorn there right behind Paul Ross, trying to build up a run on that outside. But yeah, the 5 and 18 teammates are controlling this race right now.
And a shove from the 44 moves Paul Ross back to the lead on the back straightaway with 25 laps to go. You got to get yourself in line, find your friends. The 18 jumps right down in front of the 5, so they've successfully removed the 26 from in between them. It was the 5, the 26, then the 18. Now it's 18, 5, and 26. So they've successfully gotten the 26 out from between them. Take their way now to 25 to go.
Paul Ross and Sam Close racing for 3WideRacing. They're doing a great job of keeping the rest of this pack under their control.
And Matt Grunberg, he said he's not waiting around anymore. Well, he's sitting in 13th place at the moment, and he will actually make that 14th. And there's a lot of cars in between you and him, and I think they're in between the 54 and the 18. Oh, crash! The 18 spins on the back straightaway. He goes around, and the leader crashing on the back straight. He's going to slide right back up onto the racetrack. Still green. There's a big field coming out of turn number 2, and he's on the apron.
Yeah, there's enough time. Oh, he's coming back onto the track.
No caution right in the middle of the field.
Oh.
Tags, I think that's the 69 car, and there's the crash.
Oh.
And I gotta say, I feel the 18's frustration. There should have been a caution there, in my opinion.
Well, we were actually still under green here.
I'm amazed that wasn't a caution. I think it should have been, to be honest. I mean, the leader spins out on the back straight. I know he's kind of off the racetrack a little bit, but that's a caution in any racing series that runs on an oval, Finian. But drama for the 18 and a couple of their cars collected.
Yeah, well, they continue on. St. Louis just lost his teammate there for the lead, and Hackathorn is currently leading the race just over David Wilson.
Yeah, it's Thomas Morris that got the short end of the stick there. But I would, if I were Paul Ross, I'd be pretty upset with race control for that one. I mean, you spin out right in front of the field. It's caution, you know?
Yeah, but I think race control is probably going to point a finger at him and say
for
you
sure.
shouldn't have turned out on the track.
I don't really commend driving back up onto the racetrack either, but, I mean, I can 100% feel his frustration. I'd be pretty upset if I were the 18. Now, I'd also be upset if I was Thomas Morris and the car pulled up going 10 miles an hour back onto the racing surface, but I don't think either race control or the 18 made the right decisions there, to be honest. So, 58, we're coming to 20 to go here, Finian. Now, the 5 cars lost his teammate, but look at David Wilson. He's in the lead now, and he was the winner from the Talladega Clash, and he's sitting on top of the board at the moment.
Yeah, always seems to find himself up toward the front of the field when stuff happens and a lot of drama occurs. We saw in the Talladega Clash when the entire top 10 pretty much wrecked, he was able to come through the smoke and win that race. And here, after the leader has just been taken out, he's up here now in front of Sam Close, now leading the race.
And you're good on fuel from here on out if you want to come to pit road, Finian. Wilson leads now. He's in a great position to win this race. Track position means so much. Will we see pit stops the next couple laps? I think we will, because you want to have enough time to plan out your attack for the end of the race. I don't think you want to pit with like 10 to go. I think you want to pit now and have time to race it out later. How about Hackathorn in the outside lane, though, the 44? And in terms of how the 18 spun, we'll go back and look at that post-race. I think that's probably a better time to look at that to see what happened to the 18. And here comes the 5 to the outside lane again. I think he wants his lead back. He's not content riding around in second.
He's pulling up to the outside here. He's going to get a shove from that Hackathorn. Hackathorn is going to have another chance to make a charge to the front.
Oh, boy.
You see Jadrsic there, a lap car on the inside. There's another lap car on the outside. Jadrsic does a great job pulling off the track to ensure that there's no drama.
That in the outside lane, that is the 64 of Chad Brown. I think everyone makes it through there without an incident. 21 to go. David Wilson side by side with Sam Close for the lead. The 44 and 26 door to door. Chess match begins.
Yeah, if it hasn't already.
Well,
so
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you want to pit now because again, like I mentioned, if you wait too much longer, you're not going to have any time to, because things go wrong on pit stop sequences.
Yeah.
And if you make a mistake, you're not going to have any time to recover if you wait much longer. I would be on pit road this lap, if not next lap.
And here's my counter argument to that. I think these guys might try to stay out there and run out the fuel. Try to let everyone pit ahead of them. Try to be the last guys to pit, because if a caution comes out, if they're caught on the wrong time, they can be put down a lap. Or they could be put a lap down. And there's not much time left in the race to get a lap back. So I think they're going to try to play it safe, just to ensure that they don't get caught out on a caution. Because we did see that last time through. A lot of people got put a lap down.
Yeah, I guess that's probably one reason maybe why they're trying to stay out so long pitting, but that's going to make things really sketchy. We saw how many pit road issues there were earlier. If you make that mistake again, it's going to end your race. Out of turn 2, side by side for the lead, it's Wilson and Sam Close. Oh, man, I'm getting nervous now. The 44 in the outside lane, he's got the 14 tucked up behind him. That's Hackathorn and Finn. And there's the 10 car of McCusker. He's just been lurking at the right-hand side of that backstretch shot for a couple laps. Get way up to turn 4.
Yeah, he's been really quiet. He's been up in the first 3 rows for most of this run. Hasn't really done anything with it. I mean, not that he really needs to. Again, he's still got a ways to go. But yeah, he's definitely going to be there here for the end. I'm curious of what he's been hiding.
I think the ways to go is quickly ticking down to not having that much time. I mean, we have about 15 minutes of racing. Yeah, that's a lot at Daytona, but any other racetrack, you're getting down to the end. So you have to, again, start thinking about where you're going to place your car, how you're going to place it, who you're going to work with. More lap traffic up the road. That's the 3 car of Jamie Dobbs. And the field is kind of spread out right now, side to side, so they have to get themselves tightened up if they want to make this work. And it's Jadrsic again. 3 wide through the middle of the corner in close quarters, but I think the 42 is in the fence. He makes it out okay.
Oh, and I see a car peeling off there for a pit stop. I think that was McCusker.
The 10 car is going to jump onto pit lane.
And remember, he was one of those drivers that had stayed out and didn't pit, so he had to make a pit stop regardless. There's absolutely no way that he could save enough.
Yeah, and he's all by himself, which is going to be a really lonely feeling. But he made it to pit road without incident. So he's in great shape if these guys wadded up. The only problem is if they cause a caution, he's in trouble. It's gotten really cloudy, and the daylight is waning here a bit at Daytona, but so was the race. 18 to go. Sam Close has dropped a couple spots.
Yeah, and I think people are sorting themselves out here for pit stops. I think is what we're starting to see here. So we have a next wave this time through, and no takers.
No takers from this front group. I would expect to see some drivers towards the rear of the field. Maybe the lead or the group led by 51 of Liam Sheen maybe take a look. I mean, there's a couple cars with some damage in here, but for the most part, they're just running maybe behind to avoid the incidents, but they're not going to pit either. They're going to stay out another lap. Will we have another caution? That's really the question. Or will that 10 car cycle back out when they come back? He's going to lose a lot of time because of the drafting situation. They go 3 wide. That is, who was that on the outside lane? Can I get a look? Johnny Thomas in the 09. I think he might have been one of the cars that got a short end of the stick with the 18 incident. Out of turn 4, no takers again this time, I don't think.
Definitely pretty much runs. I think these guys might try to go another 10 laps potentially.
That's a long way. Again,
within that window, I think they might go.
I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you, if they make a mistake on pit road, they have no time to recover. So, man, the strategy in me is it's like Ferrari strategy.
I don't think anything can be that Ferrari strategy.
You're probably right about that. Ferrari's strategy is way worse. They'd probably pit with 1 to go. Have their teammates all pass each other on purpose. Oh, the 48 wiggling. He's got help from behind. That's the 17 and Cameron Rich giving him a shove, but he was wobbling all over the back straight away off into turn number 3. Sam Close back to the lead. That all worked out, didn't it? David Wilson drops in behind him. Out of turn 4 this time. Coming to 15 to go. Here's some takers. The 26 of Sweeting going to lead him on down. He's got the 44 of Hackathorn with him, and the Sweeting slips again, and oh, does he get it down to speed? I think he did. It was really close, but he did lose some time to the 44, but managed to get it woed down. If he didn't speed, he got every bit of speed he could have possibly gotten out of that machine.
Yeah, definitely worn out wore out some of the tires coming in, so window is definitely open now. We're going to expect to see some more takers next time through.
Wow, look at him snaking down the back straight.
Yeah, there's Leroy Zelensky in the 6th there. He's finding himself in 5th right now in the middle of the pit stop sequence.
The 17 and 48 are pushing hard on the outside. The 5 and the 39 on the inside row not pushing quite as hard. 14 to go this time through. I think we'll see some more takers this time. Maybe the SYM cars might pop into pit road. No, they'll stay out.
Interesting, also looks like a lot of guys are opting to run on the outside lane, and I see some smoke.
Pop a smoke from somewhere.
Someone might have spun, but here's the back group of trucks pitting in. They're off and away.
95 of Josh Adams has not had his night go the way he wanted after running really well in the opening stint.
Was caught up in that wreck on lap 40.
Nathan Velez drops down in front of the 5. You see there's the Ally car. That's the 97 of Kyle Zimmer. Dropped to the outside lane. Here comes Cameron Rich over to the left. He's going to bring Zelensky with him. 48, 5, 39. Top 3.
Curious how this is going to play out again. Still waiting on the rest of the field to make some pit stops.
Zelensky coming. Oh, here they come. No, they're going to be spinning. The 48 car is going to slam the inside wall. Caution flies. And whoa, the whole field's winding them up again. And this is exactly what I was talking about, Finian. You can't make this kind of mistake with this few laps to go. Now, all these guys that just wrecked just threw that race away. And it screwed the guys before that came to pit road. So I just don't understand that. Because now you only have 10 laps to make up for whatever mistake you just made. So they were trying to protect themselves, but they ended up hurting each other. And David Wilson all torn up.
Tough break for him.
Oh wow, this is really the big part of it. Here's a look from the another angle here. So the 39 got torn up somehow. Oh, the 5 car comes right back to the racetrack. Oh, the 5 got up on his roof.
And it looks like that all started with the 5 got into Nathan Velez.
The 5 car really dramatic for him. Another look, 5. And he got into the back of the 48 and just clobbered. He got up on his roof and just almost went all the way over as the rest of there's Grunberg sliding on through the bottom. Okay, let's ride on board with the 54 as he got through this mess. Wow, he did a great job. He got some damage there, but trust me, it could have been a lot worse.
Well, compared to everyone else he was running with, he's going to be off.
And he avoided pit road, so he didn't even have a penalty to speak of. But again, I don't get the pit road issues we've been having today, Vinny. I've never seen it be this much of a problem. And Grunberg somehow got his way through there. So 12 laps to go, and now the order's going to get reshuffled again mid-sequence. Jordan McKeevoy, your current leader. Not sure how everything's going to stack up, so we'll just let it sort itself out. But we're going to have less than 10 laps to go for the restart. And all those guys that pitted later have just put themselves in a box after that incident there.
Yeah, we have, and a lot of guys, a lot of race cars turn up there. You see McKeevoy. I'm not sure. I think it looks like he's got some suspension damage or handling damage to his car.
Yeah, that rear end's all torn up. The right side's all ripped off of it.
So looking through the grid, that's someone made it through. It looks like Grunberg I think is good. Derbyshire looks fine. Rich also in a decent shape. Finn. Yeah, a lot of the guys running here seem to be okay.
So where is the 10 car of McCusker? So he's going to take the wave around, but all those guys that pitted earlier are now in trouble because of how this worked out. But where is I'm trying to see who else. I mean, the 5 car was one of the other better cars, and he's in trouble now. His car's destroyed. So who does this leave? I mean, Derbyshire's in good shape. 56 car of is that Lytle on the 50?
I think what we're actually going to see, I think we're going to see a lot of the guys in that second pack. I think they're going to end up finding themselves shuffle up towards the front.
I just don't know who I want to pick. How about Zielinski in the 6 car? His car's in pretty good shape. He's good to the end on fuel. I'd put my money on Zielinski for now. Derbyshire coming to pit road, and there's James Simmons following. Oh, he's going to pull back out on the racetrack. 42's going to come.
And McEvoy stayed out, so I think his car's fine.
Fine in one guy's terms, might not be in another. But...
Well, I mean, consider it doesn't look that damaged. Again, I'm more worried about the wheels or the handling of that car. But I mean, if he stayed out,
okay.
if he's staying out, I imagine it's enough for him to keep up the speed.
Well, and he's got the safety of his teammate, as well, so that helps. Cameron Rich in the 17. Maybe this is a guy we should be looking at. We've been kind of sleeping on him, but his truck is rather clean. And how about Kevin Finn sitting in 4th place at the moment? I mean, there's some legitimately good cars still up here. Was that caution lap 67? Because he guessed earlier that the caution would have happened on lap 67. And I think it did.
It might have
good
been.
Guess.
If not, he was within a lap or 2.
That's pretty impressive. But all right, well, we wound him up on pit road a bunch of times, and I've never really seen that be a problem. I mean, it's been a problem, but not like that. I mean, maybe outsiders at Daytona, they had a couple slip-ups here and there, but I think I would easily say that 50% of the field either spun or got contact coming to pit road tonight.
Yeah, and it's kind of amazing because I think almost every single group there, other than the second group that came in on this last cycle, but yeah, every other group that's come in, there's at least one person that's had some sort of problem getting on pit road.
So we'll have under 10 to go. Probably be 8 or 9. We'll see what the lights in the pace car do when we get back through again. We'll ride on board McEvoy and take a look at those amber lights atop the Ford FR500 pace car. If they shut off, it'll be a 9-lap shootout. If not, it'll probably be 8 or 7, depending on how long it takes to get the field sorted out with the waiver rounds. And the 21 is saving fuel. It'll be a 9-lap shootout.
Oh yeah, and remember, McEvoy. Remember, actually, if we can get the stint cam on, the stint thing on screen.
Nice.
I don't know.
Laps in stint. There we go.
There.
30. Oh, there's no way. There's no way.
Well, no. Remember, they're under. Those are including 2 cycles of caution laps.
10 laps then?
Well, last time when they took the green on lap 45, and they were about 5 laps short. Got in this caution.
That's close.
They're throwing something at it, which I applaud them for. So, 2154 have a potential of running out of fuel here. Everyone else is good to the end.
Yeah. So just to put this in perspective for those that joined late, the pit window under green is 31 laps. I still fail to see how even if you had shut the car off for 5 to 6 laps, how you could save that many laps of fuel. But I guess they feel confident that they can get closer. Maybe they're just banking on the race ending under caution. I think that's the more likely scenario, is that they're just banking these guys wide up again, and they'll just coast on home to a victory. But I think that is probably, in my mind, the only way they'll finish this race. But I guess we'll see how it works out here. 9 to go at the restart, and this will conclude the first race of the 2019 YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour. It's led by a couple of the 1Sim cars, the 21 McEvoy and the 54 Grunberg. Then it's Cameron Rich, Kevin Finn, PJ Payne, Sweeting, Hackathorn, Frankenfield has made his way back up inside the top 10, Richard Hines, and Kyle Zimmer. Coming to the restart here.
Got 9 laps to go when Space Car goes out. Still have a chance of a caution, whether it's now or with 1 lap to go, we don't know.
Green flag back in the air, 9 laps to go with Daytona. And remember, if the caution comes out and we only have a 1-lap shootout, they will not run that extra lap. It'll just stay under yellow. So if the caution comes out, probably after about 2 or 3 laps after this restart, it'll be race over. So the 21 and 54 dead even. They're competing right now. The 2 cars out of line. I was duking and diving out of the way, and he slips and slides, but somehow manages to save it out of turn 2, drawing dead even, the 54 and the 21.
Yeah, 8 car, I think, missed a shift, and that bunched up the inside line. That allowed Chuck Sweden to get to the inside. You see a lot of guys moving around trying to find some positions.
Up front, the 1Sim car is competing for a win. Cameron Rich shoving the back of that 24, or 21, excuse me. 26 of Chuck Sweeting, he's in behind. How about the 8 of PJ Payne? He's been riding around towards the rear all day long. He's in contention to win this race now. 8 to go at the line.
Yeah, but where do you go if you're him right now? He's kind of stuck. He's got to pick a lane where he wants to go, and he's stuck on the inside now. He's got Carter's outside. I think it's Frankenfield Remember, we saw and almost thought he was out of the race.
Whoa! The 21 and 17 all over each other up into turn number 1, pushing the 97 to the 15. They almost get together. How about the 54 and 14? Keep an eye. That 54's bumper is destroyed. That 14 can easily hook that damage and send him for a spin. Out of turn 2, there's Liam Sheedy slipping and sliding in the background. Will stay green. The 54 spins. The 21, they crash to the inside. Both the 1-sim cars hard into the wall in the inside lane. And 8 laps to go. Will stay green at the top spot. Kevin Finn takes over the lead. Caution flies with 8 to go.
And we will have a restart with this.
And so this is exactly why, if I were Paul Ross, I'd be tearing my hair out right now. Because these guys were even farther off the racetrack, and the caution flew this time. So that's the issue I think you have with, Grunberg's race. Oh, man. Trying to hang on to it. But here's another look. Yeah, the 14 hooked the damage, and, both those cars just drilled off to the side and hard into the fence. Right on board the 21 of McKeevoy. You got quite the angle on this. Nothing you can do. In a well-planned out race, all for naught.
That's really unfortunate for both of them. Looking on a good strategy, potentially win it.
How about for the 17 at Cameron Rich, who's now our leader? The seas just parted for him here. Let's take a look from on board the 17. And iron leader.
Yeah, I was amazed that it was only them involved. You see, this guy almost got very ugly there in the pack. But yeah, I was amazed that it was only both of them that got involved and they didn't wad off the rest of the field.
I mean, no one lifted. Cameron Rich was full throttle that whole time. So 6 to go. And we're going to be probably a 2 or 3 lap shootout to the end. So if the caution comes out, it will be race over after this. So the 17 and 14 are now leading. How about Chad Frankenfield, though? It had damage early after a mishap coming onto pit road. Left front still torn up. He's going to need help to take the lead away, because that is going to act like a sail in the wind. But the 97 of Kyle Zimmer, how about him riding around in 4th place? I think he is going to be one to watch, as his truck doesn't have a scratch on it, and neither does PJ Payne, the 8 truck behind him.
Actually, speaking of Frankenfield, I want to see if we can get him.
Yeah, let's talk to Chad Frankenfield in the 15. If he's around. Let's see, Kevin Finn around. Yep, we'll grab him real quick. Hey, Kevin Finn, it's Kyle from SYM TV. You got a copy?
Hey guys, how are you?
We're doing great up here, but got some butterflies in your stomach there. We're gonna have a really short run to the end here. What's the plan to finish out this race?
Well, I'll be on the high line here, I'm sure, so I'm just gonna stick to it and hopefully get a good push. It takes quite a lot of people to get a good run here, especially on the outside line. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Hopefully, hope for the best. Get this done.
If you get clear of the inside road, do you feel like it's better to pull down in front of them, or would you rather just stay on the outside and carry that momentum up there? What do you think's the better place to be on the white flag lap?
I'd have to say the inside. The inside has definitely had a great run all night long. It seems like the outside's just way too harder to pass, or more hard to pass.
All right, Kevin, we'll let you get back to work and plan things out, but hopefully we'll be talking to you in a couple laps here. Good luck out there.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so I'm going to guess it's going to be a 3-lap shootout here.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Which will definitely set up for an interesting finish, because you guys are going to have enough time to get up to speed and then have 2 laps to really duke it out.
So again, we've been here for 76 of the 80 laps tonight. This is the first round of the 2019 YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour. We broadcasted this series from race 5 to race 21 last season in 2018, but now it's the entire season from April till November, and we start here at Daytona. I don't know where we're going next week, but Finian can find that information for me. But again, we have about 5 laps. Texas next week, thank you, Finian. 5 laps to go. We'll have 3 when we take the green flag. If the caution comes out again, race is over. There is the yellow line rule in effect. You cannot pass it or advance your position below that yellow line, but when the white flag flies, that rule is gone. And so far, we've seen that rule kind of take an ugly turn in the last couple laps. We'll see if that happens here tonight.
Well, I honestly don't think it might not be as bad here if we can get a shot on the back back straightaway, well, the whole back straightaway. Potentially, maybe not. Yeah. So you see the giant patch of grass there. I don't think you're going to see guys get too creative. At Teleday, it's a lot easier because you got pretty much all pavement to your left. Here, you have to be careful. You only potentially have one lane, especially if you're not careful enough. You end up lunging over the curbs in the bus stop used for the sports car course, and that could really end up being ugly.
Pass in the grass, 2019 version.
I mean, you can. You could probably take up the rest of the field with you.
I don't even know. I mean, once they go below that yellow line, I think all bets are off. But I guess what I predict is going to happen at one of these restricted plate races, whether it be in the Cup Series or the Truck Series, is that someone's going to go below the yellow line, and you can't force your way back up there. I mean, once you're down there, you've laid your bed. Or you've made your bed, have to lay in it. So once you're down there, you can't force your way back up. But I don't think anyone's going to pay attention to that rule. I think what's going to end up happening at one of these points is we're going to have a guy get below the yellow line and then get all the way to turn 3 and won't be back up on top of the racetrack, and we'll just drive off and just wipe out the field. We saw that happen in the Fuel Cup Series a couple weeks ago at Chicagoland, and those were with some of the best guys in the business. So it's not above anybody, or not below anybody, I should say, for that kind of situation to arise. So with that rule gone, it's kind of chaotic way to end things. So no yellow line rule in the white flag lap. We're going to have a 3-lap shootout to end the first race of the season. We go to Texas next week, a 1.5-mile track where we expect the names of the season to be made there, and we'll see how things are going to run. But for now, anyone that might not have the pace for the season, this is a quick way to grab yourself a victory and put yourself in victory lane.
Yeah, we got currently, looks like 18 cars on, well, 19 technically, but 18 on the lead lap. Matt Grunberg, he's driving around. That's okay. That's why the timing was weird there. So yeah, 19 cars on the lead lap. Grunberg trying to catch up to the field before we go green.
He might actually be in a pretty decent spot because he can just floor it and stay up to speed. And if he times this right, I think he's going to catch them a little bit too soon. But if we ride on board with the 54, can you see the tail on the field just yet? I don't know. I don't think he's going to get there.
I think that's his primary concern right now. Spilo riding out of turn 4. It's going to be the final restart of the race, regardless of what happens.
Coming back to the restart, it'll be 3 laps to go, 2.5 miles per time. Start-finish line right in the middle of the tri-oval. Pace car pulls off. Who's going to win the first race of the 2019 YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour? Green flag flies again. 3 to go. Cameron Rich leads them back.
Yeah, and Frank Field already on the call right now. Gave a bump to Cameron Rich as the green flag came out. He's ready to roll.
A big push and a big shove to the 17 of Cameron Rich. Chad Frankenfield accelerating. Where is the 54 of Grunberg? He's flying through the field. Here he comes with a whole head of steam. Nathan Velez slow on the inside. Here he comes through the field. Oh, they're checking up. Somehow they're 64. Not crashing yet.
Oh, boy.
Through the middle. Here comes the 54, gaining spot after spot after spot. On the back straightaway, though, for the lead. Side by side. There's a 15 and the 17 pushing on the inside. The 14 and the 97 on the outside lane. Door to door, 3 to go.
They have to make it back to the white flag to race it out to the line if a caution comes out before that race over.
I think they'll be pretty cautious throwing the yellow, though. I think we'll see a lot of green flag racing to the end. Cameron Rich pulls ahead out of turn number 4. It's going to be 2 laps, 5 miles to get a victory this season. He's a defending Cup Series champion. And what a way to start the season in the Truck Series if he were to get a victory. 5 miles left in this race. And how about Chad Frankenfield recovering from that early spin into the safer on the inside wall? And he is coming back riding in 3rd place right now with a chance to win this race.
Cameron Rich in the spot right now. If a caution comes out, he's going to win it. And I'm sure he right now hopes that that's the case.
Okay, this is the last lap where that yellow line rule is in effect. You see them, everyone behaving nicely right now. Door to door in the back straight, shoving and pushing in the background.
A half a lap back to the white flag. You see Frankenfield giving a big shove to the 17. He's trying to get himself out of the line of the 14. He's on the outside. Now, outside lane looks like they're struggling to build up momentum, though.
They are struggling to build up momentum, but when will the 15 jump out of line, or will he jump out of line? There's the 8 car of PJ Payne. He's riding in, looks like the 5th spot right now. White flag in the air, 2.5 miles left in this race. The yellow line rule is gone. It's just going to be absolute chaos coming back to the checkered flag.
And I'm interested in what Frankenfield and Rich are going to do on that inside lane. They can now use the go below the double yellow line. This is going to be interesting out of 2.
Going to be down the back straightaway for the final time. Kevin Finn noses ahead on the outside. Down the back straight. Does anyone dare pop out a line to the inside? No, they're going to stay in line. The 14 car
Finn
comes over in front of the 17. Finn to the inside lane.
We saw
He gets turned. In front of the field. Is he saving? No, he's going to spin right in front of the whole field. They're going to wad him up. Everyone crashing.
And Zimmer was able to escape away with it in the 97.
Side
He's
by
side by
side.
side with Hackathorn. They're adoring each other off of 4. Who is it going to be?
Coming to the line. Side by side. Matt Hackathorn to the checkered flag. He's
It's
going to win
Hackathorn.
it. At the line. Matt Hackathorn to victory lane. And the whole field torn up in turn 4.
Who came in 3rd? Is what I'm curious about. You see guys smoking back to the line. And do you
Looks
see
like
the
Dave
ticker?
Hunt was given 3rd place there.
Hey,
Also.
Gruber got 5th out of
P5.
that. Wow.
That was one of the biggest crashes I think we've seen.
Yeah, that was a really bad crash there.
And they're still crashing as they come to the line. Smoke plumes in the air. Holy cow. And Matt Hackathorn with the send it on the rear bumper. And oh, did he send it.
Yeah, I'm curious. I saw how, I think he was right behind Zimmer, but yeah, both of them were really lucky in that outside lane. Were just able to escape all the carnage.
Alright, we'll show you the replay in a moment. We don't want to miss Matt's burnout here, though, because I'm sure he's going to be excited about this one. But that is the truck that won the race. Look at it, Finian.
Yeah, that thing is junk. That thing would not have made it another lap.
Didn't need to. he drove it exactly as far as it needed to go and no further. What a run for Kyle Zimmer. I know he just lost out, but the margin of victory was 36 thousandths of a second. But Matt Hackathorn he was just hanging around there in the top 10 all night. He's going to be your race winner. Again, we'll look at the replay in a moment. Well, let's watch Matt Hackathorn celebrate first. Alright, let's go back and take a look at it, Finian.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while to dissect too. A lot of different things happening here. So I guess best thing to do first is to ride on board and see how Hackathorn was able to get through, as well as Zimmer.
Yeah, I think we'll ride on board with Hackathorn first. I think that's a good place to start. And here it is from Matt Hackathorn. This is just going to be chaotic to watch.
And you see Rich got into the side of Finn,
Oh my
sent
goodness.
everyone up into the
Literally
wall.
everybody.
Yeah, and then up ahead of them right here, you see that Zimmer lost some momentum. Hackathorn was able to push himself to the inside.
Just not enough momentum here. The 97 tried to get him at the checkered flag. Couldn't do it. Well, let's go back and take another couple looks at this, because it's going to, like you said, it's going to take a while to dissect. 14 pulled across the line in front of the 17, and this is not really a great angle, but I'm trying to do the best I can here. And slipped to then, pretty much like Talladega 2012. From
Everyone involved there.
James Simmons did a great job trying to get through there. In the 83. There's that finish again. Let's find James Simmons real quick. Well, I guess you could say he got through it.
I mean, compared to everyone else, yeah, did a great job getting through it.
Wow.
And you see Liam Sheen just driving on through.
Yeah, Liam Sheen was excited to watch this replay, so I guess we'll go on board and see.
I'm sure he's wishing that he was on the lead lap, because he would have finished definitely inside the top 10, but he was in 20th. He's going to finish 20th lap down. So here he is behind everything.
Flat to the floor. Now he gets on the brakes. And just, okay, well.
I think that's one way to make
Well,
it correct.
that's one way to do it, I guess, right? All right, let's take a look from the TV cameras here and get a better idea of the scale of this crash. Trying to find someone that was actually in it. Okay, well, everybody was. And just, hold on, let's just do this.
Saw the 9 car go flying through the air, Rusty Capel.
There.
Yeah, that's a lot of smoke.
Who was in the wreck? Well, it's be easier to tell you who wasn't.
Yeah.
There's 2 cars. 2 trucks. Again, I mean, this is just too big. Just trying to get into one camera shot. Look at this mess.
The 9 truck here. Spinning like a top, and then he gets everyone, the entire track block.
You know who I wanted to run with is the 8 truck, BJ Payne. Come on board the back row, Cam. This is going to be interesting. Oh! Wow.
A lot of carnage.
Okay, well, he went for quite the ride here. Okay, I think that's, what do you think, is that enough?
I wanted one last one. I want to ride on board with Matt Grunberg to see how on earth he was able to finish in 5th.
Oh, he was way behind this.
Yeah. We get to see him driving through the debris. Pretty much did a David Wilson.
Oh, you can already see the smoke, like half a lap ahead of him here.
Same thing that happened with David Wilson. He was just able to drive on through and pick up where everyone else left off. Yeah, everyone else.
And through the junkyard.
Driving on through.
Whoa!
Wow! And then past 1, 2.
Well, I guess that counts, right? He did get the 56 by 13 thousandths of a second.
There's your pass with the grass right there.
Yeah, hey, there it is. I'm trying to get a better look at this here, but there it is. He got him.
Yeah, that's impressive on the last 200. Wow.
All right, well, that is going to be it for the replays, Finian, but let's head back live here. Let's take a look at your results. Top spot, Matt Hackathorn in the 44. Kyle Zimmer, Dave Hunt, Derbyshire, Matt Grunberg, your top 5. Lytle, Close, Capel, Frankenfield, Nathan Velez, your top 10. What a crazy end to this race. We'll let that scroll through for a moment. But a win for Hackathorn Finian, his restrictor plate redemption after a tragic end to Talladega back in the fall. Liam Sheen comes home 20th after glitching through, for lack of a better term. Jamie Dobbs in the 3 truck ended up 25th tonight, but a lot of trucks got involved in crashes coming to pit road, which I think drivers will have to fix that for next week. I know we're going to Texas, but a lot of racetracks act like restrictor plate tracks for these cars, and you're going to have to get your braking figured out. So there is your running order. We'll let that scroll through when we come back in just a moment for interviews, but stay with us. We'll be right back.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Welcome back live here to Daytona. Sorry for the extended break. We had some technical issues to work out, but we're here with 6th place finisher Tate Lytle. Tate, a crazy end of the race, and he got eked out at the line by 13 thousandths of a second by Matt Grunberg in the grass there. But just walk us through those last couple laps and what you saw from your perspective.
I mean, the whole race for me was pretty bland. We got caught on pit road during the caution both times. It was lapped down both times. Finally got the lucky dog with 4 laps to go, and then went from 18th to 6th on that last lap. I don't know what the ruling is on that, but I feel like I should have been given the place over Grunberg, considering he cut the course. I know you can go below the yellow line, but I don't know what the going through the grass. Not sure what the ruling is on that, but I guess I'll find out later in the week.
Yeah, actually, I was just going to ask. I mean, does that below the yellow line, is that to the wall? I mean, that's never really been clarified, so I guess that'll probably be a clarifying statement there. But Tate, a great result for you, P6. We head to Texas next week. How do you feel about the 1.5 mile tracks this season with the truck?
Repeat that again. Sorry, you kind of cut out there.
How do you feel about the 1.5 mile tracks? I know we got Texas coming up next week, so how do you feel like you're going to do there?
Hell of a lot better than I did here at Daytona. I'm pretty burnt out on restrictor play racing, so I'm glad we only got one.
All right, Tate, thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Next, we're going to talk to Matt Grunberg, driving the number 54 SYM Toyota. And Matt, a wild last couple laps for you. You restarted 19th with a huge head of steam, flew through the field, managed to pick your way through all of it, and then the whole field wadded up, and you drove through, split some guys 3 wide, went through the grass, picked up a top 5. What'd you see from your perspective those last couple laps?
That's exactly what I was hoping for. Once we got, spun there in the lead on that previous caution, I was, hoping for a big wreck on the last lap, and, I wasn't going to let off or anything. So I told myself going into that wreck that I wasn't going to let off. So I just kept the pedal down. I, just steered through what I could. I saw an opening there between the 17, and I can't remember who the other car was, and I just went for it, and luckily it didn't close on me. And then I knew that we had the below the apron rule on the last lap, so I just went in the grass there to get Tate at the end. So I'm not really sure if that's legal or not, but I mean, I think there should have been a little bit more clarification on the rule. Well, if there was,
I think that's going to force some clarification. I think, but hey, I'll give you points for creativity, Matt. I mean, because that's the thing, right? Is if you read the rule book, I mean, I don't have the rule right in front of me, but I mean, but below the yellow line, to me, I mean, that's everything between the wall and the wall, right? I mean, that seems like what you thought it was.
That's what I'm saying. Anything that doesn't get you a black flag, I think that should be legal. So I don't know. We'll find out later. If you ask Tate, he'll say that he should have got the spot. If you ask me, I think I should have got the spot. So we'll see. Hopefully we get it cleared up before tomorrow's race, though.
Yeah, well, we did ask Tate, and he did say that he deserved that spot. But I don't think he's too upset about it. But Matt, a great run for you. Great start to the season. We know you're going to be competitive this year. We'll see you next week at Texas.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, next we're going to talk to, I think we had waiting in the wings. I think we had Dave Hunt in the 53 ready to go. Hey, Dave, got a copy?
I got a copy.
All right, Dave. Well, what a race for you. You kind of just hung around the top 10 most of the night. Didn't taste the lead a whole lot, but managed to, I guess for lack of a better term, get through that wreck in the turns 3 and 4. How'd you pick your way through that mess and get a top 5 out of it?
Oh, when I seen it happening, I started slowing up and hit the brakes just a little bit. And all of a sudden, I just sort of got through it and gathered myself back up and just kept going, and that was it.
You were a competitor in the driver development series earlier in the spring. Do you feel like that's helped you at all for the truck, or are they two different beasts between the B and the C car?
They're different, but it definitely helps, and especially when you're trying to race against all these different drivers and get to know their little habits and everything.
All right, Dave. Well, a solid top 5 next week at Texas, a 1.5 mile racetrack. We'll see how you do there, Dave. Thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you next week.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, next to the booth is going to be Kyle Zimmer and Carlos Acosta, and it might take a second to get the questions answered here. But Kyle, a great result for you tonight. A P2. What'd you see coming to the checkers that last lap, and how'd you get your way through it?
Wow. It was good. The race was, was good, and a couple rides I had before and early on, and I just kind of paced myself in the beginning and kind of worked with my teammates, and I made a mistake in the first pit stop. I kind of luckily recovered right away with it, and had a couple cautions, and able to force them right to the front of me, and coming to the end with the last four or five laps of the final restart, I was really trying to help, 14 try to get it to the lead, and hopefully he'll get down there, maybe get a chance. But yeah, coming to the last lap, it was crazy, and I had a lot of momentum coming up turn 2, and then once I saw everyone started rocking, and I tried to block the 44, but he was already right in my nose, so I knew I could have come down, or otherwise I'd be taken out. So we just hoping for best to beat him at the line, but for the drive finish. But it was good. Good race, and happy to take second place.
A second place is almost like a victory here at Daytona. Kyle, thanks a lot. Good luck next week at Texas.
Thank you.
All right, that was Kyle Zimmer, your second place finisher here tonight. I think, and now we're going to talk to our winner, Matt Hackathorn, driving the number 44 car. Matt, a crazy result there in the last couple laps. You managed to get yourself in position and avoid the massive stack up that took out the entire field. What'd you see in the mirror, and how'd you pick your way through it and end up in victory lane?
I just mainly focused on what was ahead of me, because I've been pretty bad about mirror driving people when it comes to the last little bits, and I was just like, you know what? I have a feeling that something bad's going to happen, and sure enough, I don't know what the heck happened between Kevin and Cam, but if you look back at the replay, Cam missed my rear bumper by the tiniest bit. I think it did register, and it actually turned me underneath the 97 already, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it from here. I didn't look in the rearview mirror. I just kept it pinned on the yellow line. I was like, if he's going to win, he's going to have to side draft me. And then going across the line, we side drafted a bit too much. But, I got the win by, 0.35, I think it was. I'll take it, man, especially after last year.
Yeah, after last year, and I know at Talladega, we had quite the camera view of you at Talladega last season when you went barrel rolling over the wall. So you avoided that this time. But when you closed on those last couple laps, we talked to a couple drivers about which lane they'd rather be in, and some of them answered the inside lane. But you were up along the outside. And how do you feel like, was that the winning move to be out there, or would you rather have been on the inside lane for it?
For me, I'm always on the outside when it comes to plate tracks. You got a little bit more room. Most of the accidents go down the bottom of the track. If you do it right, you can actually push past the bottom lane, and you don't even have to pin. That's why I was honestly opting. When I got the lead at that one point, I was like, I don't want to be up here, so I got the extra point and just let everyone go back past and let someone get in front of me, and then I'd push them to the front. Then the line would fall back. I'd push someone else to the front. I was just focusing on mainly just trying to be there at the end, because, heck, I think right before the caution, right before the midway break, I was dead last in the field. I was 37th out of 37th. So, it was just a crazy race. I don't even know how to explain it. I just tried to stay out of trouble, as far away from trouble as I could, and somehow I stayed out of trouble the whole year, or the whole race.
Well, speaking of the whole year, Matt, I know last season was a bit of a disappointment towards the end, but you're starting off the season really strong. This season, do you feel like you're a championship contender and can get yourself in victory lane multiple times?
I'm hoping so. Cam's racing with us, I believe, full time, so he's going to be a heck of a competition. Honestly, going off of last year, I believe the Truck Series is going to be a bit more competitive than the Cup Series. We have a lot of heavy hitters that have had to cut their schedules back or just going for Mondays and stuff. And there's a lot of great drivers. There's 6 cars 2x2 for the whole time, and nobody even. Chuck's going to be a big contender. Paul's going to be a big contender. It's going to be a heavy one, because I'm still haven't figured out how to do the intermediates. I'm still not good at the big ovals, but I do good at the short tracks and the big tracks, and I do okay at the road courses. So I mean, I might be able to pull something off. But I mean, what a better way to start the year than #1 in points?
Well, there's no better way to start the season, Matt. A great result for you, and a little bit of luck helped there, those closing laps as well, just missing that wreck. But Matt, a great result for you. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I was corrected in chat, and next week is Easter. I was clearly not, I didn't know that. But Matt, we'll see you at Texas. Good luck out there, and hopefully we'll talk to you in Victory Lane next week, or 2 weeks from
now. All right. Thank you. One of these weeks.
Yeah.
Take it easy, guys. Thank you.
Yep. See you later, Matt. What a race, Finian. I mean, first of all, I got to say, this group looks very talented. You know, the funny thing is that the crashes that happened were mostly on pit road.
Yeah, which is I think the most surprising thing. We only had one real. We only had one. Actually, we had 2 on-track cautions, and both were relatively minor with not many cars involved. The only real big one was the crash coming to the line, which is kind of expected with everyone going full tilt at that point. But yeah. Yeah, great racing in general though. For most of the race, everyone keeping it clean, being pretty respectful for the most part, other than a few minor things. But yeah, everyone giving each other room and just going at it.
In 2 weeks' time, we'll be going to Texas Motor Speedway, a 1.5-mile racetrack where I guess we'll see how things will stack up. But again, right after that is Watkins Glen, and then we go to Bristol, Eldora, Montreal, and the dirt track at Charlotte. So the next really the next month of racing is going to be amazing. This schedule is probably one of my favorite schedules I think I've ever seen. And if you want to see the schedule, what's the URL to their website? It's www.3WideRacingLeague.com/schedule. I'll put the link in the chat. But this season, I'm really excited for it, especially the dirt races, and Montreal's on there. Heck yeah, racing at Montreal is always good.
Yeah, well, tomorrow night we got the main event for the Cup Series. Their Daytona 250 is going to be 100 laps for them tomorrow night, with pretty much with a slightly bigger field than tonight. It's going to be 40+ cars. So interested in seeing that race, how that's going to pan out, because when they're at Talladega, we got a very interesting finish, pretty similar to this one.
Yeah, very similar to this finish, although Wilson won that from 10 cars back. Hackathorn was right up towards the front. So again, tomorrow, Daytona 250, 9:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from Daytona. It's a day-to-night race. It's a full field of race cars kicking off the Race Kings Cup Series season. Then Tuesday, the Fuel Cup Series heads to Motegi. Wednesday, we're off. Thursday, we were Scars Ferrari Challenge from Bathurst. Friday, VRL from Chicagoland. And Saturday, Outsider Racing League from Richmond. So that's what's coming up the next couple days. Thank you so much for everyone for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified when we go live. And we'll see you tomorrow night at 9:40. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you later.